ready to go back there? Okay, good. Good afternoon, and welcome everyone. It looks like a really good crowd, and I appreciate all of you being here today. There are some copies of the agenda. I believe there may be some left up here in the box if you want one. So those are available. So this is January 24th, 2023, Hardin County Fiscal Court regular voting meeting. And just a reminder that if you have some cell phones, if you wouldn't mind to turn those off or put them on stun or whatever you have to do to, because, you know, it is embarrassing sometimes, right? All right, so let's begin, and we'll call this meeting to order. We'll start out with the roll call.
Squire Clem.
Here.
Squire Hicks.
Here.
Squire Muse.
Here.
Squire Pennington.
Here.
Squire Saltzman.
Here.
Squire Thompson. Squire Whitehead.
Here.
Squire Yates.
Here.
Judge Tall.
Here. Good job, clerk.
Got it.
Yeah. Okay, so let's stand, and we'll have the invocation by Magistrate Aaron Pennington and the Pledge of Allegiance led by Magistrate Fred Clem.
Father God, thank you for today. Thank you for everybody that's here in this room. Thank you for our constituents that we represent. Father, I just ask that as we take all these decisions that we make, that we don't take them lightly, but we do them in your name, Father. I just ask that you continue to bless us with the knowledge, bless us with the ability to make the right decision for our county. Father, I just ask you to bless everyone here as we leave today. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen.
Please join me in the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, well, thank you. I just wanted to, again, thanks everyone for joining us today and participating in your county government. I especially want to note, of course, that this is our first time to have a meeting later in the day, and I wanted to thank especially all of the county employees, the ones that are staying past their usual time to leave, to be a part of this, and recognize that is an inconvenience for you, but I appreciate you doing that. And of course, all of our citizens that are here to participate in this meeting. So just want to review the agenda again real quick, because it is slightly different than what it has been in the past. Obviously, just these opening comments, and then we'll move on into, we'll have the look at the minutes from our last meeting and have that approval. We'll move on into some department and office reports. We'll have 3 presentations today that I look forward to, and one's EMS, the next one is E911, and the next one is the Detention Center. And then we have a couple of written reports that will be available to look at, Planning and Development Commission report and a report by our county clerk. So all that we'll move through. We have a couple of, we'll have some time for citizens' concerns or comments. Again, those will be limited to 3 minutes and must be related to a specific agenda item that we are looking at today. We'll have 2 resolutions that we'll look at and talk about some today, vote on, and then we have a whole bunch of resolutions and committee meeting minutes that are in the consent agenda. I'll spend some time going through all of those so that you know what we're voting on, and we'll wrap up with some other comments and adjourn. Okay, so that's the agenda, and we're just going to move right through it. Okay, so the first order of business then is to approve Hardin County Fiscal Court January 10th, 2023 minutes. And so do I hear a motion to approve these minutes?
Motion to approve.
Second.
We have a motion, we have it seconded. Any discussion? Okay, hearing none. Roll call, please.
Squire Clem,
Yes.
Squire Hicks,
Yes.
Squire Muse,
Yes.
Squire Pennington,
Yes.
Squire Saltzman,
Yes.
Squire Whitehead,
Yes.
Squire Yates,
Yes.
Judge Tall.
Yes. Motion passes. Okay, so let's, our next on the list here is to move into our department or office reports. So first up is Mark Peterson, Director of the Emergency Medical Service.
Good evening.
Hello.
Usually used to saying good afternoon, so this is different. So I've got the November, December 2022 activity report for Hardin County EMS, along with some end-of-year, calendar year statistics for you all.
Just,
Am I
can,
turned on? Yep, I'm on.
is the microphone working okay? Up there? Okay.
There we go. Helps if you turn it on. Okay, it's not paramedic proof apparently. We're going to look at our monthly collection comparison for November fiscal year 21-22 versus this current fiscal year. Last year we collected $348,112 in November. This year we collected $419,338. For December, we took a little dip, which is usually expected because offices closing for the holidays and stuff. But last December, we collected $451,888. This year, we collected $395,584. Even with the dip, our collections are up. Last fiscal year at this time, we were at 2.1. This year, we're at $2.7 million collected so far. I have not clicked at all. This is new, sorry guys. Okay, mileage. 21-22, we traveled 253,220 miles. So far this year, we have traveled 261,888 miles. That's with the increase of transfers coming out of Baptist Health Hardin. Comparison of runs from fiscal year 21-22 to year-to-date fiscal year 22-23. So far this year, we've made 8,861 runs. Of those 8,861 runs, 7,112 were billable, and 1,749 were non-billable, which are standbys for fires, police standbys, coroner calls, stuff like that. Whereas last year, we had made 9,181 runs. Some end-of-year statistics for you guys. We weren't quite as busy as 21, but we were close. We made 18,915 responses last calendar year. Last year being the highest in the last 5 years at 19,183 responses. And then we had a dip in 2020 down to 17,000 because of COVID. There was just a natural fear of going to the hospital during that time, and that's why we saw that dip. Here's a breakdown of runs by incorporated cities. E-Town being our most, of course, and then Radcliffe right after that, and Vine Grove City. The others you can see on there. And then unincorporated, Central Hardin being our biggest, Ronnieville, and then Kentucky 86 with Glendale pretty close behind it. I imagine those numbers will start shifting as Blue Oval continues to ramp up. We'll probably see more in Glendale. So a quick summary of our fiscal year is, again, total miles 261,888. We've made 8,861 runs. Skipped, sorry. Of those runs, 1,749 were not billable. We have billed 7,112 runs and have collected $2,756,951. Any question on that data? Anything?
Anyone have any questions?
I find it, it's probably a good trend. You had a couple hundred less calls However, you collected
reimbursements.
about 600,000
Yeah.
more.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
that's a good trend. to
Yeah,
keep
and
going.
that's a lot to our QA process as far as making sure we're pinching every penny we can with every run, so. Anything else? Just real quick, Judge Tall asked me to kind of speak about the Kentucky Board of EMS grant that you guys will be voting on here shortly. Just a quick rundown of this grant. This is a grant that's offered by the Kentucky Board of EMS every year for ground ambulance services like us. And it is not open to the air medical ambulance services. It's a 100% grant that pays out $10,000 a year. We have applied and gotten it every year since its conception. And we've used it in the past to help offset the costs associated with remounting our ambulances or the purchase of a new ambulance. This year, we are in desperate need of some updated and new portable radio equipment. So we are going to use this money in the next budget cycle to help offset the costs associated with that. And next year when we apply, we just have to show Kentucky Board of EMS that yes, we did indeed buy these radios, and we'll be eligible to apply for the grant next year as well. So any questions concerning the grant? All right, I appreciate your vote on that. Thank you all very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next up, 911, Mike Leo, who's the director.
Good evening, Judge Tall, members of Fiscal Court. Good evening. How you turn this on? Okay. I'm here to present the activity report for the month of December for the 911 Center, and then we also have some year-end data. (911) calls answered, 4,655. 10,256 CAD reports created. Answered 4,995 administrative calls. Dispatched ambulance service 1,738 times. Dispatched fire departments 519 times. Handled 1980 attempt to serve, prison transports, and traffic stop type calls. And 30,409 NCIC and link transactions. It's just a breakdown of calls of service by agency. As you can see there, EMS was 44.2%. Radcliffe PD, this is something that came online with our department at the beginning of December. Dispatching for them at 27.8%. Sheriff's Office at 13.3%. You see the remaining are the agencies that we provide dispatching services to there in the pie graph. Fire runs by department. Elizabethtown was 37.9%, Radcliffe at 20.2%. You can see the remainder of the fire departments that we would dispatch for, also there in the pie chart. Calls transferred to the secondary sites. These are law enforcement agencies that have their own dispatching services here in the county. Total calls transferred 782, 12 to Radcliffe Police, 620 to E-Town Police, 150 to the Kentucky State Police. (2022) statistics for the 911 Center. Total 911 calls answered, 51,911. We generated over 92,345 CAD reports. Answered 35,507 administrative calls. Dispatched ambulance service 18,915 times. 5,317 fire runs. Handled 14,948 attempt to serve, prisoner transports, and traffic stop type calls. And this is a big one that we've noticed a major increase, 202,583 NCIC and link transactions. For those of you who know, NCIC and link is where we run tags and driver's licenses, wanted persons, EPOs, federal database, the state database allows us to interact with people that are wanted, missing, those kind of items. 911 Center calls created. It's just another pie chart to Of all the cab reports were created, 57% from 911 calls, 16.2% from self-initiated events, and 26.8% from administrative type calls. So breakdown of 911 calls received for the calendar year 2022. You're clicking it for me. Thanks. Emergency calls at 72.5%. No contact calls at 7%. False calls at 9.4%. Duplicate calls 6.9%. Non-emergency assisted type calls at 4.2%. Calls forwarded to secondary sites for the calendar year 2022. 74% of the calls were handled by the 911 center. 14% EPD, 9% RPD, and then 3% to state police. It's just a breakdown of what I described before of all the NCIC transactions that we conduct. Vehicles, license, inlets, or transactions that occur from this state to other states. Court, CAD-related persons. Kind of a busy chart, a lot going on there. CAD reports year to date, CAD events year to date, 5-year comparison from 2018 to 2022. Just shows that we're down a little bit, but we were starting to catch up with the Radcliffe merger. Total calls received, 911 calls received, 5-year comparison. 2018 to 2022. Wireless calls received, 5-year comparison. I'll just look at those. Administrative type calls received, a 5-year comparison from 2018 to 2022. We should start seeing probably a big uptick next year. There's a lot of administrative type calls that we receive for the Radcliffe merger. Self-initiated events, just a 5-year comparison, 2018, 2022. It's down a little bit from the years prior. NCIC, I'll get this down in a minute. NCIC and link transaction, 5-year comparison. Shows a major increase for this year. That is all I have to present. Is there any questions for me? Sorry, very dry material.
Any questions, comments? Anyone?
I have a comment. I just want to say, having gone yesterday to check out the operation, it's a pretty nifty, how well everything's running, how smoothly, and how well everybody's working together down there. So, good systems in place. So,
You can stay a little longer. I got plenty more to show you. I think you just kind of touched the surface because you guys had to be up here.
yeah.
Is that big increase in the NCIC, is that causing you
Is it
any
do what?
problems? Is that increase? Is that
Not at the
causing-
moment. We are looking at, we do have a vacancy in that department. We're looking at filling it. We're just making sure that the employees that were part of the merger get fully trained in everything that we do. And one of those is what we're looking at, sitting back there, real proficient in doing all that paperwork. So just holding it down until we can, get those resources available.
Anybody else? You good? All right, thank you. Appreciate the report.
Thank you.
Good job. Okay. Next is Detention Center, Jailer Big Josh.
Good evening, Squires. All right. So the month of December was business as usual at the Hardin County Detention Center. If you look at lodging income, was up to $471,418.85. The intake for the month was 462, and the releases were 474. So in jail terms, that is great when we release more people than we put in. Average daily population was 677, which is a good dip. Usually around Christmas time, a lot more people stay out of jail. I guess maybe because of the cold temperatures and everything, but different crimes raise up that number and come back down. But so the billing, we have 53% state and 47% county, which that's also great at the time because that's more people that we're getting money for and stuff instead of the county spitting the bill for it. So. When you look at the charges for the month, operating the influence is 24, Fred, 24. Assault fourth degree, 13. That's one of the numbers that actually goes up around the holiday time. So between Thanksgiving and Christmas, a lot more people, a lot more domestic violence, which isn't good. Possession of marijuana, 34. Violation of a Kentucky EPO or DVO, 5. Non-payment of fines, 29. Theft by deception code checks, 4. Shoplifting, 11. Which is also a number that goes up around Christmas time, as you can tell. Felony charges, burglary first, second, third, a 9. Robbery was down to 0. Assault first, second, third, 7. Possession of controlled substance, 47. Flagrant non-support, 5. Trafficking illegal substance, 23. And the weekend total was 4. So we looked at the inmate hours worked for the month of December. There was 15,296 hours that were worked. That is maintaining properties, different projects we do throughout the county. Other agencies, when I say other agencies, that means people that work with different charities like Clarity Solutions and different things we do with like clean up the parking lots and different things we do in different nonprofit agencies. When you look at the medical appointments, outside appointments was 30. Emergency room visits were 7. Nursing visits that was done right there in the house was 1,130. Medical requests was 149 put in. Hospital admissions were 2. Inmates on medication, 336. So always look at that number when you're going through, and that's usually your cost. So 336, the medication costs have always been high because we don't get the healthiest population. So. Average hours per visit is 1.7. 54.75 hours on a regular sick call. Average 5.14 hours per run, so it's breaking it down to what it is, when they do the medical visits there at the jail. Road trash cleanup for the month of December. There was 127.6 miles of roads cleared and 2,194 bags of trash picked up off the roads of Hardin County, making Hardin County, look prettier and a lot safer. One of the things I will tell you is that one of the groups did pick up a loaded firearm on the side of the road, which could have got in the wrong hands. And the inmate actually, as soon as he saw it, he alerted the deputy that was supervising. And now that inmate was supposed to get out in 90 days. I got notice from the Department of Corrections yesterday that he's going to be getting out sometime this week. It's a good time because of that. So little things like that stuff really, it makes the community safer, but it shows you what kind of character some of these guys actually have. They actually get out there and do a lot of good things for the community. We are on the second phase of a project we're doing for workforce development at the time, and then we got a couple more projects to start, and I guess we're going to start with the ambulance service here soon. So just let us know when y'all are ready. And any questions?
Just a comment, Josh, that it's amazing the savings that you report each month, and the workforce development is also amazing. I just want to commend you.
Did you go over and check it out? Looks good, don't it?
Yeah, I just want to commend you for that. Yeah.
That saved them probably about $30,000 with the work we did over there. So that's pretty good stuff.
That's awesome.
Anything else?
How many vacancies do you have?
Currently about 8 now. So usually with 8 more people, we'd have a really, we cut down overtime and everything, but that's working out right now. Everything's working fine, but it's, it is corrections, so sometimes you do have some vacancies, so they come and go.
Josh, I'm a little disappointed that you haven't extended an invitation to the new court members to come down and visit and have lunch.
Well, here's the thing, most of them already come down. Most of them already showed up, and it was nice. A lot of them have come down and sat around, and we've showed them around a little bit. Judges come down, and we've all they got a good look at what we do down there, and hopefully they get a good appreciation from what it's done. Of course, you know, you got to meet the staff firsthand the other day when you did the swearing in, so that was great. And they're all ready, and you got a great staff, so.
That was an eye-opener for me, I know that.
But just let me know.
Really appreciate what you guys do.
You come on down, I'll get you corn dog, Fred. I'll get you corn dog.
Have one.
Get you taken care of. Any questions, guys?
Anybody else? Any other questions, comments? All right, well, thank you.
And Judge, it's Lindblom. You know, I know
Lindblom.
I know a lot of people are stressed out on the last name, that's why I always say Big Josh.
Yeah, I'm always concerned about saying it right, so.
I saw your eyes, I was like, yeah, I'll just let it go, so.
Yeah, big
But I
job.
appreciate y'all, y'all have a great night.
All right, thank you. Okay, there were a couple of written reports, one from Planning and Development and the other from our county clerk. Do you, any comments or any questions about those reports that anybody may have? No? Okay. All right. Well, thank you. We will move on then to citizens' concerns or comments. Is there anyone that would like to come up to the mic and have any comment or concern that you may have? Yes, please. If you wouldn't mind just stating your name and where you live.
My name is Marcella Gooden. I live at 82 Brock Road in Ronnieville, Kentucky. And my comments are to Roman numeral number 3, approval Hardin County Fiscal Court from your all's minutes on January the 10th, wherein you all have appointed or reappointed Dwight Morgan as supervisor over the Hardin County Road Department. Okay. I'd like to have it noted for the record that I take exception to Dwight Morgan being appointed over anything in Hardin County. I have had several, I don't want to say run-ins with him, but he is very rude. He is an unpleasant individual to deal with when it comes to private property. He doesn't respond well to criticism. He brings the sheriff's department with him when he visits my property, which I've got no trespassing signs posted, nor does he understand the law or the KRS statutes. I have had KRS statute 179-380, 178-025, and 178-040. And when he gave these to me, he told me, read it, abide by it, and I said, I've got problems with what you're telling me to do. Do you understand what you gave me? And he said, absolutely not. But if you don't like it, you can damn well move. So I take exception to him being appointed as supervisor over Hardin County Road Department. Thank you for listening to me. You all have a pleasant evening.
All right. Thank you for your comments. Anybody else? All right. We will move on then. Okay, so we have 2 resolutions to vote on specifically. And the first one is to approve resolution number 2023-010. And this is relating to the Kentucky Board of Emergency Medical Services, KBEMS, grant application for 23-24. And this is the one that you already spoke about, right? So it's basically whether we want to move forward with this grant application. I think it's 100% grant, right? So it's free money, and not really. I mean, we all paid for it somehow. But anyway, this is that's what that is. Do I hear a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second.
Okay. Moved and seconded. Any discussion about this grant application?
I think any money that we can get for our emergency services is welcome. I think everybody's smiling because we all know we need it, so.
Any other discussion? All right, hearing none, we can have the roll call.
Squire Clem.
Yes.
Squire Hicks.
Yes.
Squire Muse.
Yes.
Squire Pennington.
Yes.
Squire Saltzman.
Yes.
Squire Whitehead.
Yes.
Squire Yates.
Yes.
Judge Tall.
Yes. Motion passes. The second resolution is 2023-18. This is applying for American Rescue Plan Act fund. This one is this is even more money, I guess. So this is an allocation of ARPA. It's a $50,000. It looks like $50,000 immediately, and then another $50,000 for later in the year, or at least next year. This one is coming up quickly. There's a deadline end of the month. Again, this is pretty much free money that was put out there for us for certain counties in the state. If this was a revenue enhancement program, additional assistance to eligible revenue sharing counties. And 72 Kentucky counties are eligible to receive. This was $13 million, $13.2 million in allocations in fiscal year 22 and 23. And so most Kentucky counties are slated to receive $50,000 each year. And the first payment will, first payment will be available immediately and will be made to eligible revenue sharing counties on a rolling basis. So, let's see if I had anything else noted about this. So this grant was really fairly non-restrictive as far as grants go, and looks like it will be used mostly for, let's see. Okay, so probably this will be used to help the cost of remounting 2 ambulances for the EMS department, and we will receive the money in 2 allotments. Okay, that's all I have on that one. So do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve.
Second.
Okay, so we have a second. Any discussion or any comment, concerns about this grant application?
So it'll be used on purchasing or fixing ambulances? Is that right? Did I hear that right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so there's already 2 ambulances. I think they're being remounted now. And so this first $50,000 would go to help offset at least some of that cost. Is that a true statement? Any other comments, questions? Hearing none, we'll have the roll call.
Squire Clem.
Yes.
Squire Hicks.
Yes.
Squire Muse.
Yes.
Squire Pennington.
Yes.
Squire Saltzman.
Yes.
Squire Whitehead.
Yes.
Squire Yates.
Yes.
Judge Tall.
Yes, motion passes. All right, we'll move on to the consent agenda, and we have quite a few resolutions that are clumped into this. I wanted to run through those, just take a couple minutes to do that so that you understand what we're getting ready to vote on. All of these in the consent agenda are typical recurring business types of resolutions and minutes. They're basic financial, personnel types of things. So that's why we kind of clump them all in together rather than trying to run through each one of them individually. But no secrets, no secret stuff here. It's just kind of business as usual types of items. The first one is that we will approve the January claims from up to today in January through the 24th. These are all turned in expenses since the last meeting. They account for about $558,000. These are are typically not utilities, they're not payroll, they are not recurring type of expenses. So when you clump those all together, like I said, it's about $560,000. Also, there's a treasurer's December 2022 report, and this report was presented to the Finance Committee whenever that committee met, and it was discussed, and everything looked good, so it was basically the committee asked that we go ahead and approve that. Approve the resolution number 2023-9. This is relating to 911 personnel. There's also a resolution number 2023-11 that is to approve some financial transfers, which typically happen between meetings. There's also a resolution number 12, which is relating to EMS personnel, full-time to part-time type of move. Resolution number 13 is relating to coroner personnel that is hiring we're basically hiring a part-time deputy coroner. Resolution 14 is regarding Public Works Department. We are, in this resolution, we are adjusting the responsibility of a Geographic Information System, GIS, coordinator and specialist. And so we are adjusting the pay for the coordinator, moving the grade in this particular one. And then also in a related resolution, number 15, we have the actual person that's filling that position, and we are moving their pay to match up with that pay grade increase. Resolution 19 is engagement agreement with Compass Municipal Advisors. This is basically some legal assistance that we need on some of these funds, some of these grants that we are obtaining. They can get from, especially federal grants, they can be pretty difficult to figure out of how to fill out the paperwork properly and all that. So we're able to utilize this company to help us with that. And so we're just, this is a resolution to allow us to do that. Resolution number 20 and 21 are around annual contracts that we are able to get some extra money for our Pearl Hollow landfill. One is for a crop lease of 83 acres that we have there that a resident has some crops on that land, and we get some money for that. And also the second one is having to do with a mowing contract on 73 acres at the landfill. So those are just annual re-up on those contracts. And then we have, those are all the resolutions, and then we have the 3 committees that met. We actually, all 4 met. Unfortunately, one was a little bit of a late meeting last night or yesterday that we didn't have time to get those minutes in, even though the chairman of that committee, Patsy, did send the minutes to me this afternoon, so we could have gotten those in. She was very quick about that, so I'm not saying that at all. We just, we had the agenda already set, so we'll get those minutes in the next meeting. But approved the Public Works Committee that met on the 12th at 5:30, and Team Kenny did a great job there with that first meeting of that committee, and so they have those minutes. And so when I say Team Kenny, that means Kenny Muse and Kenny Saltzman. Okay, so those two led that committee. We also have the Finance Committee met on the 17th at 5:30, And even with COVID, Magistrate Clem still managed to direct that meeting over the phone. He wasn't here, okay, but did a good job with that with help from Magistrate Hicks. And then the last one here is the Emergency Service Committee, met on the 19th at 5:30, and Magistrates Yates and Pennington led that, and it was a very well-attended, very good meeting also. So with all of that, all of those are in the consent agenda, and do I hear a motion to approve this, these agenda items?
So moved.
Second.
So we have a motion and a second. Is there any discussion around any of these? Any concerns, comments at all? Hearing none, we can have the roll call vote.
Squire Clem,
Yes.
Squire Hicks,
Yes.
Squire Muse,
Yes.
Squire Pennington,
Yes.
Squire Saltzman,
Yes.
Squire Whitehead,
Yes.
Squire Yates,
Yes.
Judge Tall.
Yes. Motion is, passes. Okay, so we'll move on then. We have some time of comments. We'll start with our county attorney, Ms. Oldham.
I don't have anything, thank you.
All right, thank you. So now we'll move around to our magistrates. We'll start with Magistrate Chris Yates.
Thank you, Judge. I would just like to invite everyone out to the big city of Radcliffe this Saturday from 9 to 11. We're having our mayor's breakfast there. Everyone's invited. It's normally well attended. You get a lot of door prizes and some good food. So come out. You'll get to meet a lot of your local leaders there. Normally, majority of them are there. So it's always a good time. So come out and join us in the big city. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Kenny Saltzman.
Judge, he just took exactly what I was going to say. I was going to invite everyone out to the mayor's breakfast on Saturday. I'll be there with my, I haven't decided if I have to figure out what I'm going to find. I don't know if it's the halos or the cuties. So I'll be there with that, and there'll be some door prizes, like he said, downstairs.
We was kind of hoping you was bringing the eggs this year.
No, I can't afford eggs.
Understand that, yeah. All right, thank you. Magistrate Patsy Whitehead.
Yes, thank you, Judge. Just a little bit of information about February. That has been declared locally by the Hardin County Library as the Library Lovers Month. So get your spouse or your partner, your girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever, and head out to the library and check out some of those good services and some of the good reading material they have over there. Another thing I want to say just briefly, I just want to give a shout out to those that are here today participating with us in your fiscal court meeting. We appreciate that, and we appreciate the engagement. Last night I had, as Judge Tall mentioned, the first resources committee, and the room was packed. And I was delighted because that just tells me that there's a lot of interest out there in our community about what's going on, and they want to know, they want to be informed, the community wants to be informed, and it's your right to be informed. So big shout out to those folks that are engaged in Hardin County. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Magistrate Fred Clem.
I want to recognize a familiar face to Hardin County government visiting with us today, Mr. Jerry Foley, our former Animal Control Director. It's always good to see you, Jerry. He really has, I can attest, he got our program off to a great start and set up what's probably the very best animal control department there is anywhere, I'd say in the United States, not just in the Commonwealth. It's just an exceptional service. And always good to see you, Jerry. And as always, I want to remind the folks, please don't drink and drive and don't text and drive.
All right, thank you. Magistrate Aaron Pennington.
I just wanted to talk a quick second about our Emergency Services Committee. I just wanted to give a shout out to everything that we've learned. You know, all the information that you provided every time we ask, you give us what we ask for. So very thankful for that. It allows us to help us do our job. And I'm going to go ahead and invite everybody to our next one, which is February 16th at 5:30. If you have any solutions, or if you have any comments, please come and bring them.
All right, thank you. Just a comment about Magistrate E.G. Thompson, not here. He's been under the weather. He and his wife both. So I appreciate your prayers for him and his wife going forward. Okay, Magistrate Larry Hicks.
Well, I just want to say what Patsy's already said. It was encouraging to see all those people come out last night. It's a very important issue that we've got going on in our county, and it was good to see all those people show up. And I encourage everybody in Hardin County, if you see something you don't like, or you see something that you want to voice your opinion on, come to these committee meetings, come to these physical court meetings, and let us know. I mean, we can't help you if we don't know what you're concerned about. So, you know, let us know. That's what we're here for. I don't know what all we can do, but, you know, if you let us know, we're going to try. And so I just encourage everybody to just come out and, you know, ask questions and voice your opinion, and let us know what's going on. Let us know what's going on in the county. Thank you.
All right, thanks. Magistrate Kenny Muse.
I just want to thank everyone for coming out here tonight, the department heads, the community members. We appreciate your comments, good or bad. We may not always agree with them, but at least we can hear them and try to act on them. Thank you.
Amen.
All right, thank you. I just want to remind everyone that our next fiscal court meeting is February the 14th. Just, all right, so.
Bring your sweethearts.
So it's at 3:30, so you can start your date here and just move from here on to whatever you need to do after that. And so it'll be a good meeting. Just a couple of notes too, that we do have our next committee meetings are scheduled. The next Public Works Committee, it's on the last sheet of the agenda for those of you who might want to take that with you. But it's Thursday, February 9th at 5:30, right here, right across the hallway. Fiscal Court, let's see, I already said that one, right, 14th. And then Emergency Service Committee will be Thursday, February 16th at 5:30. Finance Committee, and Tuesday, February 21st at 5:30. And then the Resource and Community Support Committee on Monday, February 27th at 5:30. And then a note here about the second fiscal court meeting next month will be the 28th at 5:30. Okay? So just a note about the Resource and Community Support Committee that Patsy chairs. That is, it's this month and next month are the fourth Monday of the month. Generally, it would be the third Monday, but it's kind of weird because January and February both on the third Mondays are holidays for the, at least for your county government. So that's why it's pushed out a week. Okay. Thanks everyone for, it's kind of a bland, bunch of resolutions. I'm sure we'll have our day when we'll have something maybe a little more controversial maybe. And but until then, I don't know about you, but I've kind of enjoyed that part of it. But thanks everyone as we wrap up our second 2023 meeting. Good job, everyone. Thank you, Megan, for taking care and preparing again for this meeting. There's more to it than meets the eye, and so appreciate her and all those that have been very helpful to her, and Vicki, as she's also been very helpful in that, and all of you that have been a part of it. So I appreciate all of you. All right, enough of that. Is there a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Second.
Any objections? Hearing none, we are adjourned.